Okay, let's try this again, YouTube. Hopefully it's going to run somewhat smooth. We've been having a lot of problems, or at least I've been having a little problems. And it's not started yet. Come on. I'm waiting on it to start. Jesus Christ. Oh, there he goes. Maybe it won't be too bad. That's only 45 seconds. Yeah, that's about right. All right, so here we are. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Bull Ring with me, TRprepper. We have Blue 823, Rick is your six covered, and Rosie O'Kelly on tonight. So hopefully this will go off fairly smooth and a decent hangout, because we've been having some difficulties here lately. So we're trying again. I'm going to keep on trying until this damn thing works. So I'll let everybody do an intro, and I'll start with Blue 823. What's up, man?
No, not too much. Tomorrow's the big day here at the where I actually work at. I'm not going to get into too much detail just because I don't want to basically screw myself. However, they're doing major cuts with the police department. They are going to completely hack the entire police department that I work for down to 2 full-time guys. So it's going to be 80 hours of coverage out of a 168-hour week for a 40 square mile area. So hey, you know, I'm good. As far as I know, I'm the second on the food chain. So a lot of people got to go before me. So there's only one other guy higher than me. So, but that's pretty much it for the personal life. As far as YouTube life goes, I'm still not watching many videos. Haven't made anything at all. Hunting season's coming up, so that will definitely be a plus, and I'll get some videos out on that. But other than that, thanks for the invite as always, and let's get this baby started.
Cool. Yeah, we talked about your job situation. Yeah, it's pretty screwed up what they're trying to do. I don't know if we was online or offline or what when we was talking about it, but yeah, that's going to bite them in the ass. But anyway, Rick, here's your six covered. Go ahead, my friend.
I just appreciate everybody showing up, supporting the bull ring tonight as always, and working on getting 2,000 subs. Got a ways to go, but I'm getting ready to do a giveaway. Hopefully it shows up soon enough. But glad you guys are out there. A lot of familiar names, and let's get started with Rosie.
All right, appreciate you coming on, man. Rosie, would you like to do an intro?
Yeah, sure. Always happy to be here on Tuesday nights. Knock on wood. We won't see the spinning wheel of doom this week. What did we get up to? 20 minutes delayed or something on the something ridiculous on the side chat. The joke was that TR was already in bed by the time you saw it. The hangout, the aborted hangout and last week. But I'm always glad to be here. It's always interesting on that Tuesday nights. And of course, I enjoy drilling down on economics and where economics and politics come together. It's always enjoyable. My Rosie Murphy channel generally has my weekly or every other weekly update. So it's good to see everybody on the side chat, and Rick and Blue. Got my fingers crossed for you, Blue, of course, and Rick, always in the thoughts and prayers to stay safe. And TR, always glad to be here with you and the side chat on Tuesdays.
Well, thank you for being on, Rosie. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. I enjoy your insights and your point of view on things, and it's just really cool having you here. And everybody loves you. So I'm going to let you, normally this is how we started out on Tuesdays. I'm going to let you give us a little insight of what you think of the economic forecast, especially with the election 1 week away. There's got to be a lot of turmoil in the market, I'm assuming. For sure.
One thing I want to kind of go backwards, because I didn't get to say a little bit that I wanted to say last week. I was starting to talk about one of the hallmarks of of a not too good economic era is that you start to have a lot of consolidations in big business. And this is what I was going to talk about last week, because last week, of course, AT&T came out and announced that they were going to make a run for Time Warner Corporation. And I thought to myself, gee, this is starting to sound familiar. And of course, yesterday, General Electric, I think they're making a run for Foster Wheeler, one of the big oil service companies, hoping to rationalize there. But I thought another era where that was a real hallmark of that time was the 1920s, the late 1920s, when it was very difficult, although the market was booming and it had that feel-good factor of the jazz age and the roaring 20s. As a matter of fact, by mid-1928, the economy was already slowing down significantly. If you look at figures for car loadings, freight car loadings in the 1920s, they suddenly started turning down in 1929 as less cars were shipped, and factories were already cooling off a long time before the stock market crashed in 1929. But one of the big hallmarks was consolidation, because it was so hard to put up price increases at that time by the late 1920s, because the consumers were tapped out. It was very difficult to be able to credibly borrow more money. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to get into that. Yeah. So I'm going to get into that TR. So the point I'm trying to make is when times get very tough and it's hard to grow your business, you have to grow your business by dropping back to plan B, which is trying to absorb other companies and then rationalize their operations. In other words, cut people to try to get the best of their operation, and spread your own team across administratively to do that. So I'm seeing the same thing now. And I think to myself, I wonder if it's going to sink if AT&T's deal with Time Warner goes through. I wonder if it's going to eventually sink the combined company, because they're going to be carrying almost $200 billion of debt to make this deal happen. Now imagine that, $200 billion. Even at 5% for the bonds, you're still talking about $10 billion a year just to service the debt on that. So if we're at the point where things are turning down, and remember, this was my theme starting about 6 weeks ago when I withdrew from the market here, that things did not seem good. And today was another shaky day with down 200 points or so at midday, and then having a little bit of a bounce at the close. But we're now starting to reflect the realities of a possibly changing electoral landscape here. And this is what TR has asked me on the internal to address that, because there's a change occurring now in the market. The market is now coming to the grips with the latest of Hillary's problems coming out with UMA and company, that we may have a scarred presidency. Even if she wins, she may get no honeymoon. And part B is Trump may actually pull this thing out, because it does look like the polls are now shifting in his favor. And of course, we have to consider things like polling bias. It's a shame you have to talk about setting up polls and the way polls are developed to reflect things, but the spread between a lot of these polls is so wide now. You have to kind of wonder, but they'll tell me it's because it doesn't accurately reflect the Latino votes and other things, that it's hard to canvass and make contact to ask them who they're going to vote for. But it's very interesting. One damn thing is for sure, I'm sure as hell tired of this election and just want to get it done. But before this week, Wall Street was pretty much assured that Hillary was pretty much in the bag on this thing. And now, like I said, there's some concern that Trump may get elected. Now, Trump is actually more of a negative, perceived to be more of a negative for Wall Street, because of things like protectionism and I don't want to say anti-free trade, but at least trying to balance out the perceived shortcomings of our trade agreements and things to make it more equitable, like with countries like Korea that you know, we hardly export anything to Korea, and yet we suck down tens of billions of dollars of imports every year from them. So this is why Wall Street is a little skittish about Trump coming in. But below a deeper surface, even with Hillary potentially being elected, we now have to face the possibility that she could be indicted, and she could be indicted early on for some of the machinations and manipulations that have been going on, you know, under guise of, you know, there's just been all kinds of bullshit going on. You know, this Donna Brazil, who's associated with CNN, and she also stepped in to be the Democratic National Chairman when Donna Wasserman Schultz or whatever got booted out. They found out now that Hillary was pre-fed some of the questions on some of the debates and things. So there's really a lot of weird stuff going on in this mix now, and I'm just afraid that she's going to be under a cloud almost immediately when she comes in. And believe me, as far as Wall Street is concerned, that's a lot worse. It harkens back to the Nixon days. That's a lot worse, even potentially, than her being elected president, as is her being stymied and sidelined by all this stuff going on with all this corruption that's now coming out. You kind of get the idea that it's like a car going down the street, and gradually the lug bolts have been coming off the wheels. And every day that the Hillary mobile rolls forward, another lug nut pops off the side. And I get the sense this turkey's just going to go down real soon here, and my guess is that somebody's going to go in and cut a deal somewhere in here to try to get some immunity on this whole thing, because it looks like this thing is falling apart. So the implications for the economy are not good. The dollar started weakening again. Gold made a big jump today. I think it's $17 or $18 an ounce. We had silver up 3%. So we could be seeing, as I said 6 weeks ago and telling you guys, I'm not real happy with what I'm seeing in the investment world right now, and I'm withdrawing from that. And we see now we're about 500 points lower than that, and we're starting to see some of that financial instability creep in. So keep an eye on gold. Gold is your ultimate truth teller of not inflation, but of fear out there and uncertainty. And I think this is what we're looking at now. And this was a significant day today. So we'll see what happens. It's very hard to be positive economically in this environment. So the industrials have been reporting numbers that aren't too good. And yeah, so what's your rate for managing money? But anyway, that's the way I see it. Just to dumb it down, we look like we're weakening here. And it's going to be interesting. Friday, we'll get the employment report for October. Let's see how many jobs were created in October. We also have the election next Tuesday. So Wednesday could be a big day. Stay tuned in the markets. It could be calm or it could be chaos. So. But it's one of the reasons I've continued to like gold and silver, just to slowly accumulate, not to be a knucklehead and back up the truck and just fill it up, but to have all that stuff. And also to be able to be a good prepper. It's been one of the themes for a year and a half. I've been on this channel with TR that you got to be able to feed yourself. You know, you've got to be able to sustain yourself, and don't assume things as they are now will always be. So. You can't eat it, but it's nice to have a tradable thing, just like ammunition's nice to have 9mm ammo and guns, like Matt would say. So this is the way I think things stand right now. So the Fed meeting is almost taking a back seat. It's a 2-day Fed meeting today and tomorrow, but really nobody much cares, because we know the Fed's not going to raise rates, because they're scared out of their mind too about what's going on right now. And they might as well just close the door, lock it, and walk away, because they just they have nothing else to offer now. So that's my take on it. So if anybody has any questions on the side chat, feel free.
Actually, I do have a question, and I think I already know the answer. Let's say Hillary ends up getting elected, and then before she takes the oath of office, or even after she takes the oath of office, within a year, this whole investigation comes down and she ends up getting indicted on something. Is that gonna, do you think that the future part of that, if an indictment comes down, that's going to rock us even worse, or is that really not going to have an effect at that time, because everybody's kind of pre-planning on both sides?
Perversely, the day that she gets indicted, you could potentially see a strong rally, because probably going into that indictment, like you hinted at, Blue, we'd already been weakening away and people have been pulling away from the market. So by that time, it could be actually time to buy as opposed to sell. But we've had it before. We went through all that. You guys are all young. We went through all this stuff with Nixon and Watergate and all this. It had a real bad effect on the market. We went into the recession of 1974. It was a really bad recession there, and part of that was coming out of all that stuff of Nixon resigning, and Ford taking over, and all those bumps. So this thing's starting to have that sort of deja vu feeling to me again. So I would expect, Blue, that this is going to rattle the markets for a while going forward. I don't see any way that Hillary's ever going to positively clear herself until she's taken into a court of law and put under oath, and various witnesses are called. And I'm sure subpoenas are being drawn up for people. I'm sure the Fifth Amendment will be pleaded left and right. And I tell you, the reactions and the impact on the markets will not be good, because it's a president that's diverted from what they should be doing and putting their attention on what they hope they'd never have to do. And that's to take care of tamp down a criminal investigation. So it's getting pretty ugly out there. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I want to say hello, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, everybody.
Good chat. This guy drove from Chicago, Illinois, down to the lower part of South Carolina just to be, to be part of Fallageddon. So props to you, dude. I mean, he said it was a 13-hour drive, I think he said.
Something like that. Not counting. Yeah. Well, that includes gas station breaks.
Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking
I live in South Carolina. It took me damn near 4 hours to get there, so I know. Yeah.
You got those country roads, TR.
Yeah. So welcome, Tom. He's officially the first time he's been on one of my chats. So got to meet him. He's an awesome guy, and say something out there in the external so they can all sub you up, and we'll blow you up, make you famous.
Yeah, that's what I need, is famous.
No, but I think even getting back to you, Rosie, I think even Democrats or liberals or Republicans, I don't care who, I think people in general are really, the corruption is so blatant and so in our face that people are having to take notice of it. They're like, they could ignore it to a certain degree over time, because, politics has been corrupt forever. As long as it's been politics, it's been corrupt. But it's getting to the point to where it's so in our face that even ordinary people that don't really follow politics are having to kind of like take notice of it. It's like, that's a fucked up shit.
Well, where there's the average person on the street, which I'm certainly one, thinks where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And there's so many things smoking on so many fronts now, from Benghazi to all these. I mean, I think the average person is starting to say to themselves, what the fuck, you know? What's good? One of these fires has got to be real. Now, what's going to happen is the Democrats are going to have a united front going into this election. And then I think you're going to start to see some people peel off post-election and start to try to separate themselves a little bit. It just depends. It's a real sticky wicket because they've got, of course, an attorney general and an FBI director. You have to be very careful. You can't be ham-fisted and just fire people. And, you know, so Obama just can't relieve. He may after the election, and then there might be hell to pay. But I'm saying, you know, they're in a really sticky situation right now where they're going to have to play this thing through like it's a shot on the golf course that landed in the rough. You know, they're going to have to play this thing out. And I'm concerned because, as I said, Wall Street can take really bad news. Wall Street can take really good news. But what Wall Street can take is uncertainty. And that's exactly what is coming up, is uncertainty with Hillary's whether she wins or not. It's a mess. So we'll see.
Well said.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I mean, the bottom line is I think the corruption is so bad that people, whether they want to admit it or not, they're having to wake up and smell the roses. You know, I mean, they have to like look at it. They can't ignore it. It is so in your damn face that they're like, even if you are a Hillary supporter, I think a lot of those people, other than just living in pure denial, they have to be looking and saying, damn, I don't know if I can support her or not, you know?
And you've seen that in the 6 or so swing states. You've seen that seesaw now to where one of the polls today had Trump with a 1% edge nationwide. So, you know, people can take so much and then they hit that fill point and then it's like, oh man, I just, you know, I can't take this. I can't take her being in there and all this crap swirling around our president. So the hell with that, you know? So it's not the best choice we've had today, but it's in this election. But wow, she's got trouble on her hands. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I hope her supporters are starting to fall off, and I don't even care if they don't vote. If they just say, screw it, I ain't voting at all. That's fine. Don't. Yeah. Because
I want to ask Blue a question, and I'm very cognizant of the fact, Blue, that you know, I don't want to dox you out or anything like that. So I just want to talk in generalities here, because I'm sure your town may not be, you know, your town could be symptomatic of any town in the USA. What's the driving force here? Because out in California, it seems like they put something on a ballot and 80% of the people support raising their taxes for police, for fire. I mean, I've never seen a bond or revenue thing turned down in this state, especially when it comes to first responders. So I'm curious about what is the financial legs being cut out from underneath of the department? Is it population based? I mean, I'm curious as to what's at the root of this, because this could be like a canary in the coal mine on a public service type of level.
I don't think for our area it's population based. We have this new generation of city managers, borough managers, that type of thing coming into the area that have worked that have never worked in a managerial position for a government agency before, and they have no idea exactly how things are run. We have a neighboring jurisdiction who is, as we speak, trying to cut the fire department. They're a third-class city, I believe, and they're trying to take away a complete fire station and lay off, I think it's 6 full-time firefighters. Our personal, where I'm at, it's not financial. We have money in the bank. I mean, we have lots of money in the bank. It is all a control issue. And I think that we're running into that more with this new generation of people that have no idea how to run a government agency. And I really think that's what it is. With that said, I think that ours is also, how do I put this correctly? It's a vendetta because of unions. And if the unions pull through, it seems like it's an automatic attack. And that seems what's happening with the neighboring jurisdiction with the fire department. And that's definitely what I feel is happening with our area. As far as the community goes, both communities, the neighboring jurisdiction, they had a huge, there was more people in that council meeting that's probably ever showed up in the last 20 years that said, look, we need to raise taxes. 2 years ago, we raised taxes not even a couple mils, and that was supposed to do this. And, let's raise it again. I'll pay the extra $4 in my taxes, however big their population is, so that they can keep the services that they have. Our area, we're going to find out tomorrow how that works. Hopefully we pack our meeting. And, but what I've been hearing from people back and forth on social media is, look, we haven't raised taxes in so long. And it makes sense. If you have a tax base that you haven't raised in 6 years, you're going to start feeling a little bit of a bite because, everything goes up every year. It goes up. Nobody wants a tax increase.
No, of course not. But is yours property tax based where theoretically if the value of property goes up, the tax revenue goes up in lockstep? Because of course, California has Prop 13. So I'm paying the same taxes I paid when the house was worth 1/3 of what it is today. So of course, the firefighters, the first responders, they have to come more often and ask for continuances of existing sales tax things and others. But I'm just curious if property taxes aren't supportive of that. Because another thing, Blue, is our county, our sheriff department, some of these little cities some of these little towns that tried to run with their own police and fire have now given it up, and they've folded themselves into the county force and stuff like that. So I'm just curious about the property tax. And
with the property tax, I can't answer that. I don't know. I think that I don't think we're based on property tax. I don't believe. I may be wrong on that, but Pennsylvania is so ass backwards that, like in a lot of the other states, the sheriff's departments for the county is your main law enforcement, and then you have the highway patrol that strictly does highway, and then you have your municipalities that have their departments. We're ass backwards. Our state police in all of the state is the main law enforcement agency, and then it goes to the municipalities and the sheriffs, except for a couple states or a couple counties like Allegheny and Philadelphia and a couple of the bigger ones. They're, other than those counties, the sheriff's departments are on the bottom of the rung. So we are so ass backwards.
I don't think you're alone. I mean, it's just, we're kind of unusual. I think Rick can attest to that. The ballots are always full of bond initiatives and tax things out there. But I consider that a good thing because people were still very willing to pay. I know I am, to pay up for those kind of top line services and stuff like that.
And that's the thing, especially like our area. I mean, God, our crime rate is, for having 40 square miles, we have a very low crime rate. I mean, we get the big cases, we get that stuff, but it is so low. And as soon as you go one jurisdiction to our right, one jurisdiction to our left, their crime rate is through the roof. And it's because you have more people and more of a smaller square mileage area. But I just hope that they realize that if they do this and it goes through, you might as well put a banner right out front of our office that says, "Hey, drug dealers, come on in. We don't have enough time to investigate it, so you might as well make all your money now."
Yeah, we don't have any crime here.
Yeah. Well, I ran the numbers, and this was off the state information that each department enters into the state systems. The other departments are 24-hour coverage. They have, let's say, probably a minimum of 3 to 4 guys on per shift. That's a lot of officers. So let's just say it was 15 officers or something like that, compared to our average of last year was horrible. We had guys out almost all year with injuries and stuff. So we were averaging a 4-officer base for the whole year. And that was horrible. But we averaged, like our guys, we would, criminal complaint wise, like filing stuff through the magistrate's office and through the court system, we're at like 35 to 40% higher than the officers in the other areas by average. So our caseload is, and I'm presenting that to council tomorrow. I'm probably going to get fired for it, but I don't care. People need to know the truth. And if you're just going to sit back and be a lamb and let stuff happen, and like I said before, I'm safe. Right now I'm safe with these layoffs if it goes through. But why sit back? It's your own fault if you don't speak up. So,
well, I think I think it's very important that the police, especially, it definitely affects you and your department when you do get up. I've been to town hall meetings and the police showed up and spoke their voice. They were in uniform. Well, matter of fact, it was at the damn police department anyway, but I went to some basically Second Amendment type rallies or whatever you want to call it. Anyhow, they wanted, the city wanted to impose some laws about concealed weapons. And this has been a few years ago, but when I showed up, which I didn't speak, I was just showed up in support. We fucking filled that damn place up. But there were police that talked also. They went up there and they gave their opinion of the laws that were trying to be imposed by the city. And I think it's very important that the police get up there and give their 2 cents on whatever it is. I think the community responds to that in a positive way. We want to know what you think. You see the shit,
and
if that makes sense.
That's what I was going to say. It has a lot of insight when you have police officers saying, hey, man, we don't have enough people to man the streets or whatever the case is. That goes a long ways when it comes to people, maybe adding a couple bucks onto their taxes or whatever. One thing, though, that you guys are talking about, and it's kind of hard because the towns that really need the protection are usually the more, lower income housing and that kind of stuff. And those are the people that really don't, there's some, but there's people that don't want to or just don't care to pay the extra, the extra dollars in order to keep their police and fire nearby. But they'll be the first ones yelling and bitching when you don't show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's just
the same thing. I think Pennsylvania has school taxes, don't they? And you hear some people bitch that they haven't had kids in school for 40, 50 years, and they're still, paying the, I guess it's a piggyback tax on the income. I don't know, but I think that kind of complaining was much less, but I hear a lot more of that today.
Yeah, we pay a local tax, a property tax, a school tax. That might be about it. But in the property tax, that is based off of what your, what your property's worth. But it's going through the roof. But I don't know. I agree with what TR said and what Rick was mentioning. If the cops in the area get up and they tell people what's going on, it's a lot better hearing it from the horse's mouth per se, rather than, well, these are what we see on paper. People don't understand how things work, but yeah, people that don't care, they're the ones that don't care because they've never needed us. And as soon as they need you, it's like, whoa, what the hell? And it's,
well, like I said, at that town hall meeting, which it ended up fizzling out. It didn't go anywhere. But a lot of people showed up. A lot of people showed up and voiced their opinion. What it was, I'll go ahead and give you the little base story. They built this amphitheater, but there's no gates. There's no fence. You know, it was like they're going to put on concerts or plays or whatever in the little town of Travelers Rest. And they wanted to make it where you couldn't carry a gun. And the whole thing was like, well, we got concealed weapon permit in South Carolina. You can't do that. You can prevent somebody from carrying a gun in your business, your building. But as far as it being outside, you can't control that. If it had a fence around it and there was an entrance and an exit, you could do it, but you can't do it if there's no fence. You know, there's no wall. But the police, flat out, the Travelers Rest police got up there and said, look, we don't support this. People have the right to carry firearms. We're not worried about the people that's carrying firearms because they've went through training courses. They've been through background checks. They're not criminals. We're worried about criminals. Criminals do not get concealed weapon permits. So I'm not worried about them. This is what the police told us. And in the next county over, in Spartanburg County, we had a police chief after a rape incident what happened in a park. He flat out told he was on the news. He said, look, get your concealed weapon permit, learn how to shoot. We as the police cannot be everywhere at once. You have to take your own safety into your own hands. You have the ability to get a concealed weapon permit and defend your life. Go get it and do it. Yeah. This is the kind of area I live in.
We can't be there at the time it happens. We're basically what you would call a cleanup crew. We come in, we clean it up, you investigate it, and you file charges if necessary. But if anybody is being assaulted, being raped, the chances of us being right there is slim to none. I mean, damn. And I've often said I would rather have everybody in the community have a gun, because if I run into that jackass that is not a good American citizen and for whatever reason wants to try to shoot at me, I would rather have 5 people walking down the street being able to shoot back at that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, TR, is that Trailblazer Park that you're talking about?
Travelers Rest.
Yeah,
that's where my.
But the park itself, is it called Trailblazer Park?
You know what? I'm not sure. The swamp rabbit trail goes through there, and they've set up an amphitheater in that area. Now they may call it Trailblazer or whatever. I don't know. I really not.
Looks nice. On that. It looks very nice.
Yes, I must have Aunt B living down the street from it.
What is it?
I see a picture of Opie here.
Aunt B Andy.
Yeah, it's the old railroad track.
Hey, Goober.
Yeah, it's the old railroad track that they've ripped up the railroad track and made a trail. So now that people it goes from Travelers Rest to Greenville. And it's through the woods, over the hills, and all that shit. And it's a bicycle, jogging, walking trail or whatever. And it ends in Travelers Rest, and it's kind of made Travelers Rest a yuppie hangout. So we got all these yuppies there now. That's what I call them now. And but anyway, I mean, it's cool. It's been good for the community. It's been good for the city. But anyway, they do little concerts and stuff like that. But like I said, we have, some pretty solid policemen and down, just, get to the root of the thing. And I've appreciated their candidacy in saying, hey, don't tell people they can't carry a gun because we're not worried about them. Because they know. People with a concealed weapon permit is the least of their worry. They're worried about a thug showing up that don't have a concealed weapon permit but's carrying a gun. That's who scares them. That's who they're worried about.
And you know what? Every now and again, a good law-abiding citizen, a good person, goes fucking nuts and decides to shoot somebody. But if you got 5 other people, that shooting could be limited. I mean, it's very limited. I mean,
Aren't most of them crimes of passion anyway? Somebody gets caught cheating on, you know, in the house and comes and just grabs a shotgun or something like that.
but even the quote unquote mass shootings, like out in public places, I mean, you know, good people reach a breaking point, and it's gonna happen. But would you have one person that reaches that breaking point and goes over the edge? I'd rather have 10 other better people out there to, you know, stop it before I even get there. I mean, that's your goal. I mean, you know, we got to protect each other. I mean, I don't know, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it wouldn't be good for somebody to go full-blown retard stupid in a local Walmart that I shop at. And I'm not saying just me. I'm just saying that there's a bunch of people carrying guns. You know, that's not the place you want to go ape shit at, because you're gonna get shot.
Yeah, why should your Walmart be exempt from stupid people? And the people
They're required to have so many before they can open one.
Yeah, the people at Walmart.
The news feeds now. I mean, some people are just damn ass nutty, and they're not the concealed carry permit. They're not the law-abiding citizen. People are being more brazen. They're trying to grab kids out of freaking shopping carts with the parents standing right there. You know, anybody ever tries to grab my kid, I pity that son of a bitch, because you're going to get one to the back of the head as you're grabbing my kid might have a little bit of blood on them. They might be a little bit deaf because of the gun blast, but you're never going to have that chance to do that again. You will. I mean, that's,
Amen.
and that's the way it should be. That's the
I can tell you,
it should be.
I can tell you right now, I did a video a few years back, and the worst comments I ever got were anti-gunners. They were like, hope your kid dies, from so on and so forth. And I was like, wow, like, you just put this on the internet. Like, I can't believe you would say something like that. And they were all against, it was a guns history, basically, and I could not believe the shit they were saying. They were the worst ones.
Try taking away their First Amendment right to free speech. They'll be screaming, and right of assembly and all that shit. But they crap all over the second, you know, the right to bear arms and stuff. To me, it's equivalent constitutional right to every other right in the Constitution. Exactly equal.
I was amazed. They're like, swallow your gun and pull the trigger. You Second Amendment loving, so on and so forth. I was like, man, you guys are sick.
Yeah, just put the nail on the head, the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah, the people that are against guns seem to be the most vindictive and want death and mayhem to happen to people more than actual gun owners.
Oh,
which is
for
always
sure.
Well, they'll be the first line to go out in the zombie apocalypse anyway, so that's the good news. So you don't have to worry about them.
Tom hadn't said too much.
They'll be begging for your gun, but
how does it work where you're at, Tom? I know you're in Illinois.
Taxing? Do you mean the taxes?
Well, just guns in general. How
we know Chicago. What about the rest of the normal places?
The normal places. The normal places are usually pretty easy. Anytime you're out of Cook County, you're usually in pretty good shape. The state has a FOID, firearms owner's ID card, that you need to buy to look at or buy guns or ammo. So you have to have that just to be an owner or to shop for them. So you can look through the glass, but you can't touch if you don't have the FOID card. And you can carry in your house, on your property, in your house or on your property, and you can carry in your business without a permit to carry. Then if you have the concealed carry permit, you can carry pretty much anywhere you want to go, unless it's posted you can't carry there, or it's a school or a court. So you have to be a little bit careful. Just look for the don't carry here symbol. And of course, run back to the car and lock it up safely. I'm sure that's what everybody does.
Or just don't go in.
Yeah. Well, you know, if I'm going to pick up my grandson from school, I lock the pistol in the car. I don't go to court very often, once or twice a year, for administrative, you know, just filing stuff. So that's not a big deal. And you're not supposed to carry in hospitals either. Any place that sells liquor has to have not sells liquor. If most of their business is selling liquor, then they have to have the sign on the door. The state made up their own sign and used a Beretta 92 as the symbol, and then put a circle around it with a line through it. But they didn't ask permission from Beretta. So they actually got sued and had to pay money to Beretta to use the image of their gun.
Good.
They weren't thinking ahead. This was all kind of last minute. They had to come up with a law, or we would have had constitutional carry, because the existing law was struck down. So that it was kind of thrown together, and they passed it at the last minute. So, but the county that Chicago's in, Cook County, has its own rule. There's a sort of a it's almost like the one that Clinton passed. It wasn't Clinton. It was under, I think it was under the first Bush. The automatic weapons, whatever that one was called. I've forgotten the name of that rule now.
Yeah, I forget what it was.
No,
a lot of people don't realize it, but Bush Sr. outlawed more guns than Clinton did. So, and it was under that law, whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever that one was called. I've forgotten it now. But yeah, we're not supposed to have AR-15s or AK-47s or any magazine over 15 rounds. I'm sure people still have them.
Am I the only one that I don't see those signs? I don't. Those little gun signs, do not enter with a gun, you know, whatever. I don't care if I'm going into I go into my bank every week packing. Sometimes you see the bulge because I don't have my alien gear in the waistband. I just don't give a shit. Kick me out of your bank. Say something. I mean, seriously, it's if it causes an alarm and somebody says, "Oh wait, you can't come in here with that," I might be a little more like turn around, walk away. But shit, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't pay any attention. There's very few of them anyway.
Ain't shit gonna happen to you anyways.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you know, basically, and they also, and this is just South Carolina. This is your, you know, like a normal piece of copy paper. They made it a rule or law that it has to be one. I forget how long regular copy paper is, 11.5 or 11 inches, whatever it is.
8.5 by 11.
Okay. Well, they made it has to be 11.5 inches. So it can't be normal copy paper. It is a certain way. It all has to be this specific, a certain way the sign has to be presented or it don't count. It's not legal. If it's not that extra length and all that shit, if they don't order it special, they can't just print out a, you know, no concealed carry here or no weapons or whatever.
They have the same thing in the medical field, TR. Postings that you put on clinic walls and all that have to be very precise with the type size, Times Roman, type point, all that stuff has to be. And whatever you do is not good enough. So you might as well just order the government shit and just
That's
hang it up.
exactly. They want their money.
No matter what you do, it just didn't cut it.
And South Carolina, like I said, the gun lobby did a really good job when they passed the concealed weapon permit law, because it has to be on every entrance and exit, the specific sign and all that. And if all they got to do is, as far as I'm concerned, if there's two doors and there's a sign on one and not on the other, fuck it, it don't matter. That sign's done legit. They don't matter, because I went through this door. It don't have a sign on it.
Yeah, TR Pops wanted to know, how big does the middle finger sign need to be?
I try not to look very hard.
Anybody on the panel or in the chat room, has anybody ever walked into a business that has one of those signs with a weapon and had anybody even say anything? Because I've never had anybody say a word.
Well, that's the point of it being concealed, basically. They're not supposed to know you have shit anyways.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And I'm in California. California case closed. So I'll never see any of those signs.
Well, in California, you don't see too many signs, actually, because no one can carry them.
Right. Like I said, our sheriff and our chief of police and our sheriff are sitting on a stack of applications. Last I heard, about 5.5 inches high of permit applications, and they're just not processing them.
Yeah, I heard 9 months in Riverside County to a year
to process them. Said, yeah, we have to do it, but it doesn't say how soon we have to do it. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as far as me in South Carolina, pretty much I carry everywhere. I don't have kids in school, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I can kind of see the doctor's office and stuff. They might, be a little bit whatever about it. But, other than those few examples, I carry. I don't give a damn. If it comes between me saving my life and not saving my life, if some kind of freaking shootout or some shit happens, I'll take the litigation afterwards, after I'm still alive, to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, they had a sign. I don't give a shit. Did you see the guy with the AK-47 fucking mowing people down? I took him out. Arrest me if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be giving you hugs afterwards if some jackass shut up. If you take them out.
Not to switch gears, but this came through our local wire today, and I wanted to share it because it's public information. But it came through the wire first, and then it hit the public. But if there is opinions first, if there is an investigation into a political process such as voter fraud, as far as this, as far as that, which agency do you guys think handles that? Would it be local, state, government, federal?
Well, it's a local registrar of elections, isn't it? It's the first step, and then ultimately it gets the Secretary of State for your state. If it gets, if it appears something's there, I would guess, don't you have to bring in an independent body to do the investigation? It's not connected in any way with the voting.
I don't know. This is why this was such a weird thing for me. In 16 years, I've never seen this, but this came across the wire first, but it's now public, so I can say something about it. I'll read the real quick blurb that came up. It says, Pennsylvania State Police have raided a Delaware County political field office seeking evidence of possible voter fraud registration, according to court records. In a warrant filed late last week in the County Court of Delaware, investigators said they were seeking documents of financial information and lists of employees at the Norwood office of Fieldworks LLC, a national organization that often does street work for Democrats, records show. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but the state police in not our area, Delaware County is on the other side of the state, but the state police filed a warrant to go in to find voter fraud And that to me seemed weird. I've never seen it, never heard of it. And it's just, I always thought, like you said, it's an independent, it's, you know, somebody way above.
You know, our mail-in ballots, Blue, say, you know, if you tamper with this ballot, it's a criminal offense. So, you know, I'm thinking maybe that they believe they have first jurisdictional right if it's a crime, voter fraud. But it seems a little heavy-handed to me.
Yeah, I couldn't. I've never seen anything like it. I was just
I mean,
wow.
even in Florida in 2000, when you had the hanging chads and the Gore Bush election, you still had the electioneering board was the ones that were going. Of course, ultimately the courts decided, but I'm saying they were the original investigators of all that. It seems strange to have the police come in, but maybe times have changed. I don't know.
Well, it's probably because evidently something was very blatantly done illegally. I mean, something was like in your face fucking illegal.
Yeah.
For them to have to use state police to go in. You know, I mean, something bad. It wasn't like, oh, you know, a couple of votes here. No, it's something bad happened. Or otherwise the state police wouldn't have got involved, I don't think.
It basically goes into saying that they're looking at registered voters that have the same name, same date of birth, same social security number. That, I mean, it's like it lists the identifying characteristics of a person. So I mean, it's just, to me at least, I've never heard of such a thing. I couldn't even imagine trying to do an investigation like that. I mean, that's. I thought that would even be above the league of the state police, which, you know, our area, that's the elite, you know.
Well, when they come back and say, you know, our resources are taxed, then you know why. When this stuff, that they're using police to do this kind of stuff. So, you know.
Well, I figure there's after the 8th, there should be some crazy bullshit that happens about voter fraud. Something this, something that. I just think the circus is going to continue. Go Trump.
That's why everybody needs to go out and freaking vote. And it needs to be a landslide one way or the other. And so if there is some horseplay going on, they can't do it on a massive level. They can do it at a little district here and there. And there's already been proven voter fraud. That is not a, you know, a crying wolf or whatever. I mean, the shit goes on. It's known. It's proven. You know, you got people that's in, you know, dead, that's voted, and, you know, just all kind of horse shit's going on. But if enough people vote, so that's the problem. Only about 30% of the people vote. You know, this able to vote, and so it's easy to.
I think that's always a particular,
you know,
problem that Democrats face is, you know, they can get people to rallies when they're serving food and punch and stuff, but come election day, you know, like they were talking about, what was it, Philadelphia, the transit might be on strike starting tomorrow, and they're all worried about turnout and getting people. You know, it's my perception is Republicans almost always vote, you know, and it becomes a Democrats issue to turn out the vote.
Yeah, oh, I think so too. Which could be in our favor.
I think it always is. If people voted by registration, you wouldn't have a, you know, it'd be a Democrat landslide, but of course it doesn't work that way.
Exactly. They just, yeah, I don't even want to go there, but I just think more people should get involved, get out and vote, you know, whether you like Trump or not. Hey, you could think he's a complete fucking asshole. I don't care. Vote for him anyway. I mean, look what the alternative is. It's fucking Hillary, you know. I'm not a Trump lover, but, you know, I like Trump. I think he's okay. I think he's doing a good job. I think it's great that he's different, and I like that. But, you know, I mean, he was never my first choice. But compared to Hillary, I mean, hell, I'd vote for Bernie Sanders before I voted for Hillary. You know, I mean, she is corrupt to the fucking core. That is evil. I mean, that is about the most evil person in history in America, as far as in power. That is just an evil bitch. And I'm sorry, but I don't care who's running against her. I'd vote for them.
Yeah, I'd take an empty seat for 4 years over her.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, Trump's no Ron Paul. I was a big Ron Paul kind of guy. I like libertarian values and things like that, but Gary Johnson went full fucking retard. He's not a fucking libertarian.
Yeah, that was my boy, right? And he made a horse's ass out of himself in 2.6 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's who I voted for last time for as a president.
But I don't understand.
I'm a libertarian, and that just killed me on this election. So I voted for Trump. I just mailed in my stuff today. So
How can people vote for her, though, knowing all the shit that she's done?
well, you got hardcore union, you got other, rank and file that are always going to vote. Strong block state go SEIU, Select Employees Union International. I mean, you're going to always have big cities, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the big cities always do.
Well, I mean, you got, I mean, people just, they don't look at anything. And, and I was guilty of it to a certain degree years ago. You see a headline, you hear a news story, and you don't do any research on it. You hear what they want you to hear. And that's what people do with Hillary. I mean, they, even as bad as the shit that's coming out around her, even the mainstream media is kind of, they'll tell you the story, but they still skirt around it. Excuse me. They kind of sugarcoat it, and people just blow it off. They're like, oh, well, I'm going to vote for her because it's time for a woman president. And they have no fucking clue who she is, what she's done, all the way back to Watergate, 1974 or whatever that was. I mean, this bitch has a history of being corrupt and crooked and a liar and just a bitch. I'm sorry. And,
well, yeah, people aren't.
Yeah,
People think that. I mean, women got the Warren J. Harding because he was so handsome. He carried like 80% of the women's vote or something. So you just you don't know what motivates people.
All right, now I gotta go look up Warren J. Harding. What the hell did he look like?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I want Coolidge back. Keep cool with Cal.
Keep cool with Cal.
I haven't got the shirt on.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Boy, these guys are blasting Glock out there. Best gun ever. Period. End of story.
I like Glocks because they work. I don't think it's the best gun ever.
Exactly.
Beretta.
They're not the prettiest. They don't have the best trigger, but sure as shit, they're going to go bang when they need to.
That's
For the
it.
most part.
That's it.
I had to, as bad as I hate to admit it, I think that was about the only, no, Bobby, Yankee 40 used a Ruger. Other than Bobby, I think everybody ran the damn course at Fallmageddon with a Glock.
Well, I saw some guy out there with 2 wheel guns.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Don't worry, that old crazy fucker there. Don't worry about him. I had to do it at least one time. I brought him last time, and I didn't get to do it. And this time I was like, damn it, I'm going through the course with the damn single actions. I don't care. I mean, it wasn't timed or anything. It's just like, just let me run through it. Somebody film it,
Okay,
Of course.
I'm looking at a picture of Warren J. Harding. If he was the handsomest candidate of that election, I don't want to see who he was running against.
Yeah, he was quite the looker, evidently, from Marion, Ohio.
Apparently.
He talk about corrupt, baby. He was his wife poisoned him with rotten crab on an Alaskan cruise while he was president.
Wow.
All he did was play poker and smoke cigars with the boys and drink and get laid all the time. So,
So not much just changed. He was a Democrat, right?
he was a Republican. He was the precursor to Calvin Coolidge. It was the feel-good days there.
Good.
So we don't have a lock on crappy presidents and candidates, that's for sure. So
Yeah, it's not a new phenomenon.
it just feels like it.
Yeah. Getting back to the crime thing for just a second, Halloween in Chicago, I'm seeing a story here that says 18 dead, 58 wounded. One day.
That's a normal day, isn't it?
Normal Halloween.
Well, they'll be cheering tonight. I think the Cubs are stomping Cleveland as we speak right now. It was 7-1 last I heard. So we're going to Game 7, probably the final game. So they'll be going crazy.
Hey, Tom, what town was that in?
That was Chicago.
Oh, shocking.
Yes. But one night, that's a 1 day, 1 night, mostly at night. That's got to be a record.
Probably a world record. Each year it gets higher.
It's amazing. I don't know how we do it.
You think they'd ran out of people by now?
Yeah, nobody's moving in. I don't know where they're getting them all.
I don't know. Stealing them. You guys been keeping up on that water thing? On the water rights?
A little bit. I mean, I saw that they got they brought in the heavy equipment to move the protesters out. We're arresting a bunch of them.
Oh, Cubs are up by 7.
Yeah, it's going to go to Game 7, so it'll be pretty awesome.
Got some CZ love out there in the audience. I didn't break out my CZ. I actually brought it. I brought it, but I didn't break it out because I didn't want the unfair advantage of having the best 9mm ever made. You know, because that was just unfair to do that. I was just like, well, I'll just shoot a Glock like everybody else. Keep it fair.
Keep it fair. That's right.
Even though Rob's got like $1,000 freaking Glock now. You rubbed off on him, Rick.
He's been shopping, yeah.
Yeah, he got all the bells and whistles on his.
That trigger is $250.
Woo! Yeah, I was saying, yeah.
What's with those blue magazines? What's the deal with those? Why do they have special magazines?
That's just a base plate.
Oh,
yeah.
Because they were all sticking up the same way in the case and made it look like something special. I don't know.
Where it is basically a weight. So when he hits the mag release, it drops out a lot easier. You know, it's got weight to it, so it drops out.
Got it.
$350. No, it wasn't. Pops was saying $350 for the chair.
He doesn't shop. He just goes in and buys.
Oh, I told him where to get it.
He said, just to look cool at it. It did look cool. I admit that.
Hell yeah.
Ass Glock there, no doubt.
Tom, here's something you'll find interesting. Harding's 1920 victory as president remains the largest popular vote percentage margin in the history of presidential elections to this day, 60.3 to 34.1. So,
wow, that's a landslide.
Yeah, those women were just eating that up back then. So,
wow.
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We're all over the place tonight.
That's okay. I have no format, so
It's just amazing the useless bullshit that you can wheel out.
I got to turn to the financial guru real quick. The pipeline, I think it was Alabama that ruptured today. What's that going to do to gas prices?
Colonial Pipeline, I heard the chairman of Colonial Pipeline on today talking about that. They actually have dual lines running up there, so he thinks the effect will be rather short-lived, 7 days, and plus we have such a storage glut of gas and stuff in storage that he predicts the effect will probably be pretty negligible on that with this rupture. We'll see.
I went out and filled up all my gas
natural
tanks.
gas just remains ridiculously low. I think it was like $2.33 per 1,000 cubic feet or something, and just some ridiculously low. Now, TRprepper said his town's already out of gas. So,
damn.
Yeah, that pipeline's getting old. That runs from Houston all the way up to, I think, New York or something. So, and it has all types of feeder branches off of it. So, you know, gas is a very corrosive sort of element. So, I wouldn't say element.
So that was a natural gas line? That was a natural gas line, or was that like crude oil?
Yeah, the GAZ, which is the ETF, was up 13 cents, but that's coming off an extremely low base on that. An exchange traded fund gas. Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, most of the time they refine the crude oil and they pump gasoline through the pipelines.
Yeah,
I don't think they pump.
You know, gas is a byproduct, yeah, New York gets most of its gas from that pipeline, but he didn't seem like he was particularly nervous. It was a oil line, I think, coming up. Might have been gas or oil, but I remember I did catch the chairman of Colonial talking about he thinks things will be pretty good in a week or so. I don't know how cold things are either, or what the demand is. It's a low travel time right now, but I hope they get it fixed before Thanksgiving travel.
Well, hell, I thought one just busted in Alabama a month or two ago because it was affecting our gas prices. So evidently another one busted.
Yeah, the one just busted today.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, that's 2 in a month.
Yeah,
Or maybe
declared a state of emergency in Alabama, and they said it was the state of emergency was to run until November 1st until December 1st, unless they rescinded it before. So they already have a month-long plan. You know, I don't want to say plan, but
You know Alexander Graham Bell, is it?
Everybody's saying out external that it's the same pipeline that busted again.
Not good. We had a lot of gas stations that didn't have fuel.
I would think that's a preview of coming attractions anyway, given the age of that. So,
yeah.
I mean, you remember, Rick, we had that fire down in San Bruno up here when the pipeline ruptured in South San Francisco and took out a whole 2 blocks or something.
Yeah.
That was a rupture. You know, PG&E, of course, had no clue. You know why? We don't know what happened. You know, and
No. That was electrical, yeah.
that was a terrible fire. That was a huge fireball down there. Just went up that. You know, I don't know what 28 people got incinerated or something on that one.
Huh.
Okay, somebody said it was hit with an excavator. Yeah, it's going to usually be a human factor. You know, if it's not the age, it's somebody runs into it.
It's always the backhoe guy.
It's always the backhoe.
It's like, why are you digging over here? I don't know.
Better call Julie.
You better call Miss Utility.
There you go.
It's always the backhoe guy.
Instead, they called misinformation.
Yeah. Instead, they called Chester with a 6-pack under his belt to come in and trench for you over there.
I had an 8-inch gas main, 3 weeks ago? It was the backhoe guy. We're like, why are you digging right here? It was a big construction site. And there's people that do all the monitoring, and they got all the GPS things, and they got everything flagged. He's like, oh, I thought this was a better way to go. Where I'll see all these flags and shit and all this stuff. It's kind of like, don't dig right here. It's the backhoe guy. It's always the backhoe guy.
And there's huge fines with that shit. If you don't call the one call program, or if you do call them and you still dig where they marked out and you rupture something, that's huge. Yeah. And that's all on you.
Yeah, you got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
this was on
won't cover it.
The company's basically at the main, the valve. There's the gas company, right? And then there's the meter. And then anything past that, it's like those gas guys were almost like, this is your mess. Oh, like, shit. I mean, it was an easy fix. They shut the gas off, and the guy didn't blow up or anything. But
I'm sure when all's said and told, with all the emergency personnel on site and all that, it was costly.
Yeah, that's happened. I don't know if it's the same operator, but it's happened twice in 2 different areas. Within the same construction site. But shit happens. What was that? Job, what do they call that? Job security?
Yeah.
Well, they don't always hire the brightest people for some jobs.
Well, and if not that one where it was all marked off and the dump or the backhoe guy was being an idiot, but you don't know, and it's hard to feel. I mean, if you have years of experience on a backhoe, it's a little easier to, kind of feather the dirt back when you're getting close. But a lot of times they try to get too close where they needed to shovel. They need to be in that area, but there could be, a water line, a gas line, and all sorts of shit within the same foot right there at different depths. And instead of doing it by shovel, once they get close, they try to be Joe backhoe bitching and usually tear a hole because it's plastic pipe. So, just one of those teeth on the excavator or the backhoe, it just rips a nice gash in it.
Yeah, I was just reading a headline off Bloomberg that Clinton's heading back to Michigan, which was long considered a lock for her. The race has tightened dramatically up in Michigan now. So, well, that should be a little indication that things might be rolling Trump's way in a bigger way in areas that aren't so contested or weren't such a lock as for her as Michigan.
Did you guys see? This is probably the only time I've ever agreed with Michael Moore, but did you see that small little video on basically the reasons why everybody's going to vote for Trump?
To say F you to the
yeah. That was an awesome speech, and I hate that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's unreal. I hate that fat bastard. But
did you hear that speech he did?
No, I'm going to check it out though.
It was incredible.
I'll make a note here on the side. So.
He did a good. I think the only reason I could think he'd done that, which he's done a movie about Trump, and he's kind of promoting his movie, and I'm assuming he's pro-Trump. I don't know. The speech was pro-Trump. The only thing I can think of is he's anti-establishment, He's anti-big government, and maybe he sees Trump as, you know, anti-establishment, and maybe that's why he's throwing his hat in the ring for Trump. I agree with you, Rick. I agree with everybody else. I think it's a piece of shit, but it was an amazing speech he gave. He was for Trump 110%.
I'm just saying,
we
real
brought
clear politics. So Hillary went from 7-point lead 2 weeks ago to 2 points today.
And we were talking about this shit at the fire station dinner table, right? And one of the guys is all, that was an anti-Trump speech. He's all, you guys only heard 5 minutes of it. I said, I don't give a fuck. I said, half the world heard the 5 minutes of it. And that's the 5 minutes that everybody needs to hear. I guess it was an hour long. I guess they just cut a snippet out of there or some shit. I'm like, I don't give a shit. That's exactly what the Americans need to hear.
Yeah, I got a feeling it was anti-Trump, but what's been posted was pro-Trump. So
yeah, I took it as purely pro-Trump.
But I agree with you. I mean, I don't like. Yeah,
I guess Michael Moore wants an invite to the inauguration. Maybe, I don't know. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure that
it's not that he hasn't done work that I actually like, but he's done a lot more work that I don't like. I have watched most of his stuff, but the one he did on 9/11 I thought was really good, actually. So, you know, I don't know.
He's there to do the controversial videos to make you watch them, so he pads his pockets. I really think that's what that guy's all about. It doesn't matter what the subject is. If he can make a video one way or the other to get the most views out of it, that's his view. I don't watch any of his stuff.
So he's like a YouTuber.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except he's paid.
Think all
Another
the shit we do to you.
Hey,
Another failed YouTuber.
in the last 2 years, I've made $100, so this pays me.
That's right. I'm gonna tell my wife I want to retire. But honey, I'm a superstar now.
Yeah, I'm thinking by the time I hit 67, I might can retire, but it won't be on fucking YouTube. Salary.
Pops Quest has the best. He just says, if you want to make money, go work at a pizza place.
Yeah,
Exactly.
YouTube. Good point. You'll make a lot more money driving pizzas.
We all know how to make a successful YouTube channel that you could, you know, make money on it, but none of us are wanting to do that, you know. Or at least I don't. I mean, I do what I want to do, and if people watch, they watch. But I mean, I make videos to make videos, but at the same time, I don't. And yeah, I could get hot chicks on here shooting guns and make goofy videos and go downtown and do interviews and just make an ass out of myself for other people, and yeah, I could blow up. But that's not who I am, so I don't do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather meet Tom down at the farm at Rob's and do a video with Tom.
Thanks.
Hey Tom, who are you? What's your story? That's the last video I posted. That's the kind of shit I like to do.
And I'm sure it'll make you a lot of money.
At least a penny.
It's possible.
Within a year.
no, if Trump wins, I wonder if Rosie O'Donnell will be at the inaugural ball. Robert De Niro's a piece of shit. Did you see his video? I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he said he wanted to punch Trump in the face.
Oh yeah, that was the one. I thought he put something new out. So
Well, that's the one I'm thinking of. I don't know. That might be
Yeah,
another one.
pay-per-view. I think Trump can stop him.
Who won the run and gun? I technically, Tactical Midget won it. But from what Rob said, Pop's Quest, that he didn't even aim at any of the targets. I mean, I think technically Rob had the best time.
We got to change the targets each time.
Mm-hmm. We moved these stakes that if you ran up to the stake, you had to, shoot at. We moved those, but we didn't actually move the targets. So I don't know.
No, but change them out or tape over them, or so you're hitting them.
Oh yeah, well no, we ain't that technical. Fuck that.
That's too much like work. They did change the paper plates a couple times a day.
Yeah, we only changed them if they flew off.
That's fair.
It's 11-inch target. I mean, that's a lot to ask somebody, So if we had the normal like B-52 or B-29, whatever target it is, I think I got something around here. That would be different.
Yeah.
If you yeah, you should be able to hit that. But being that we were shooting at fucking pie plates, it's like, do your best. If you hit it, you hit it. You don't. But as long as you would be in a body shot, we're okay. And that's why I say tactical midget evidently flew through there so damn fast that it was just basically just random shooting in the fucking air. And he got like a 37-second run. But Pops had like a 43 something. I mean, it was a solid run. I was timing him when he done it. He was actually aiming at the targets, and going through it. My best time was like a 47. But I only had one run that I didn't have an issue. Freaking shotgun jamming up. One time I went, they tried like 4 skeet in a row, and it was breaking before they come out of the skeet gun, the skeet shooter. So it was like, like 10 seconds waiting for the fucking first skeet. And I'm like, damn it, just throw one. What the hell?
Yeah. You should have just shot twice and moved on.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I posted it, the one run I had with no issues was like 47 seconds. And it was like, finally, I had a run with no issues, And it was somebody that was like flipping the fucking safeties on the guns. I laid my gun down, unloaded, chamber back, safety off. I go up to it, put a damn magazine in it, and somebody's put the safety on. I'm like, what the fuck? It was shit like that,
Man.
So anyway, I finally had a good run, 47 seconds, and I was happy. I was like, good.
Yeah, that's cool. Practice up.
TR does look pretty cool.
It was fun.
With those 6 guns.
I had to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we should have started whistling.
And nobody wanted to shoot them. That's the only reason I brought them out. I figured somebody wanted to shoot them, but nobody offered to shoot them. Yep, Yankee 4. That was him. I didn't want to say it, but he admitted it. Bobby kept going down there to the damn gun rack where all the guns were and putting them all on safe. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? Leave them alone.
It's probably a good thing I didn't go.
Yeah.
I'd have been on, nope, you got to hit them. Patch the holes. Cheating asses.
Well, go back and watch my well, you seen my run. Never mind. You hear me? I'm hitting the target.
Oh, yeah.
Even out to damn near 100 yards.
The hammer next to
Bing.
it. Bing, bing, bing.
No, I did good. I had a solid run. I hit the steel targets. I slowed down enough to hit the paper plates, and it wasn't the fastest time, but it was a solid time, a solid run.
And you hold the record for wheel gun.
Yeah, I got that one down. Nobody can beat that.
Yep.
Because nobody would try.
And he did the New York reload, so it was extra fast.
That's right.
Yeah, I can only do one shot at a plate because I didn't have enough ammo to do 2 shots at a plate.
Reload.
That's an expensive run with that 45 long Colt.
Yeah, it's probably $25.
You're reloading those though, aren't you, TR?
Yeah, I reload them. I mean, actually, what I took down there was factory bought. I did buy that ammo because in case somebody wanted to shoot it, I didn't want an accident to happen, something
Yeah.
with my reloads. So I bought some ammo to take with me. It is $25 a box. $25 a 50 rounds. So 50 cents a fucking round.
Damn.
But like I said, normally I reload it.
Well, you ended up with more brass, so that's good.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't want, my reloads to, in case it's a little too hot or whatever. I just say, let me buy a couple boxes of ammo and take down there. And if anybody wants to shoot it, here you go. Factory ammo. Just for. But nobody took me up on it. Nobody would shoot it. They were scared.
They're scared.
Bring it to you to Farmageddon. I'll shoot it whenever I come down. Bring it with you.
I will.
What's the worst that could happen? You lose a finger, lose an eye. I mean, what the hell?
I've loaded that damn thing, those things up so damn hot that it actually bruised my hand, but I've still never had one like actually blow up. I mean, you can load them up. Those are Rugers. They're tough. You can load them up Magnum loads. I can load them beyond 44 Magnum status.
Status.
Yeah. So they can be hot, but that's not what I normally shoot. No.
That's a good kick.
Damn, TR, you're still holding 58 to 60 viewers. That's awesome. For this late, usually people drop off pretty quick.
Because I hadn't had one in a couple of weeks. For one reason or another.
It's not spinning around. I can actually watch it.
Yep, Stump Greenwood's out there. Hey, Stump. Yeah, them damn Rugers, you can beat the shit out of those things. They're tough. I'm not super big on their center fire semi-automatics. I think some of their older ones are pretty good, but they got a new one out, All American or something like that. It's supposed to be pretty good. But as far as their revolvers, shit, yeah, it's hard to beat a damn Ruger revolver. Those things are built like a brick shit house. They are tough.
What was it? SP 101, right? Don't they make that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over
Yeah, that's a great revolver too. My mom outshot me one time. We went to the range. She was using one of those. I was using some other bullshit. I don't know what it was. She kicked my ass. I was like, "Good job, Mom." And then she kept the paper and posted it in her house for like 2 years. I'm like, "Thanks." So every time I got to come over and visit, I got to see this shit where you kick my ass. Damn, Mom.
Well, that's good to hear somebody beat you at shooting.
My mom can shoot, or used to be able to shoot. She's not around no more, but yeah, she was a good shooter.
Yeah,
Kicked my butt that day.
Renton Hicks says SP 101s and GPs are awesome, and yeah, I got a GP 100. That's what my 357 is, a GP 100, and yeah, that damn thing is of it. And of course, the single actions. I'm kind of a Ruger fanboy. I got like 5 Rugers, I guess, altogether.
They're all wheel guns, right?
4 wheel guns, a 22 semi-automatic Mark II, and a 1022.
A lot of people
rifle.
love the Mark II. I'm a Browning Buck Mark guy.
Yeah, those are good guns too.
Yeah, those two are like always against each other because they do great.
Oh yeah, they're both awesome. Yeah, I don't down the Colt or the Colt Woodsman or the Browning Buckmark. Yeah, they're all good guns. I've shot them all. I just happen to own a Ruger, so.
AZ said anyone can beat Rick at shooting when he has his special gun mags. The ones that dump out the bottom, fall off the AR. Well, at least TR got to figure out what a smooth run is. I mean, when you can finally get one when you don't have any issues with one of your three guns, or a mag, or a holster, or whatever the hell the day brings, it's fun. It's a fun sport when everything's working right.
Yeah.
Even if you do shitty, it's better than sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah, if you do a smooth run, I mean, you hear me at the end of my video. Hell, I was like, hooping and hollering. I was just like, woo, finally, I got a good run. It wasn't the fastest, and I didn't give a shit about that. I just had a good run. I was happy with that.
It felt good, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I didn't drop this or make that fall or this didn't work. Yeah, it's a good feeling. Doesn't happen very often for me, but but I still try. Thursday, TR, if you want to go.
Yeah. Where you do it at?
Rex Indoor Shooting Range in Flat Rock.
Flat Rock.
You guys are all invited. Come shooting with us.
It's not too far.
Starts at 6.
How long do you think it would take to drive there?
4 hours less than whatever it took you to drive down to where Pops is.
9 hours.
6 o'clock, WNC. Yeah, he's a local.
And where is it?
It's called Rex. It's Rex's indoor shooting range in Hendersonville, North Crackalacky.
I passed by there on the way home.
Yeah, I know.
North Crackalacky. That's yeah, I remember where they are. Yep. That's a long way towards home. It's not bad drive at all, actually. Oh God.
Yeah, that was about 4 hours from Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Thursday night, 6 p.m. Get there a little bit early. $10 to play. And we usually do 3 different stages. And then you can watch me in person, watch my mags fall out, some bullshit, something happens, double feed, some crap.
I got a client meeting at 6 p.m. I don't know if I can make it. It'd be close. It'd be cutting it close.
It would be close.
Now, speaking of jams, which I said it in my video, the one that we did for Mule Team. Man, I wanted to run over to the camera and just blast Glock for jamming up and just show how a Glock jammed up. And you can't really tell it because you know how it is, and you're shooting and stuff, and shit's going through your mind. It jammed. I had a stovepipe, and I just kind of stepped back, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, this was my reload." So I cleared the jam and started shooting again. And I actually even said that in the video because I was like, man, I was wanting to fucking diss on this damn Glock so bad I couldn't stand it. And then I realized it was my reloads. So it's probably the ammo.
Meredith Gorlich says he or she's going first time competition clay shooting. Any advice? I put something in there. Have fun, but Learn from the people shooting. There's a ton of stuff though. Bring some chokes. I don't know what kind of
Blue has the best advice.
hit the clays, Meredith. No, don't hit the clays.
It's the basics. Back to the basics.
Follow through. Don't stop when you pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. And Rick is your six covered is awesome at clay shooting. That son of a bitch can nail clays like no other. But I think one of the best advice he had, like if you're going side to side, is the best advice he gave me, which helped me, is don't stop and pull the trigger. You pull the trigger as you're moving. You know, it's a continuous motion. Because when you stop, that's when you screw up.
Well, and you want your pattern to look like this. Like if the bird's coming around, as you're going, you're going to continue on because it pulls your shot into more of an oval than a round. So you have a better chance of hitting it. A lot of people will go up, they'll see it, they'll pull the trigger, and then they'll stop. And you got to continue on. But the biggest thing is just have fun, be safe, and then you'll get better and better. I used to shoot a lot of shotgun sporting clay stuff. That was I shot that a lot more than I ever did pistol.
Well, you still got a pretty good knack for it. That's all I can say.
It's fun.
That Farmageddon, damn Rick was nailing the shit out of some damn clays. Hey, you could hit a clay and just like wing it, and there was still some left, still flying. Hell, he'd shoot that.
Yeah, I was having a good time.
Get the other wing.
Hey, Rick, I want to see you shoot some clays with an AR.
Good luck.
All right.
That's just my own little personal. We did that out at the farm. It was straight away. It wasn't left to right. It was straight out, and we were shooting clays with AR-15s, and we were hitting them. So
yeah. No, it's definitely possible.
The only problem we would have with that is where, is it going to hit the backstop when it gets past the clay?
Oh yeah. We were low to the ground. I mean, the clay, if you didn't shoot it, it would hit the backstop. The clay would. Yeah. There's no shooting up in the air. Don't do that shit.
Yeah. I've seen Blue's video. It was a bank, that they were shooting at, and they were shooting like he says, no matter where they shot, it was going to hit dirt.
Oh, so, you know what? I would tell. They were asking for some more tips, but I always used to shoot Winchester. I would use the super handicap, so it's basically had a full charge within the legal rights of competition, because if you're getting stuff that's so far out, you have a better shot of, as you pass it and lead it to pull, you're getting a little more energy for your shot, but you're also, when you're up close shooting stuff, you're getting a faster response so you can go to the next target. If you're shooting like true pairs or I don't know what kind of shooting you're doing. You just put clays. But yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Make sure you have chokes. I shoot an over and under for the simple reason for sporting clay is I can have two different chokes. So if I have like a duck that's way up or a geese basically blind that's way up in the air, I can run a tighter choke. And then if I have something close coming by this way, so as I'm going, I have two options with the chokes. And I can shoot, top barrel first or top barrel second. I always try to shoot my farthest one with the top barrel just because you can line up the bead a little bit better. But that's some of the things. There's a ton of stuff, and it's just practice. But chokes have a lot to do it. Know what your spread is. and then plan your body to be in the right position when you're on your second bird. So if you have like a left and a right, don't be too far to the left because you won't be able to swing but to here. So you need to be more in the middle where you can shoot from the left and the right, or you'll have enough for your body to turn.
Yeah, shooting skeet is it's almost an art form, or shooting birds, as Com's talking about pheasant hunting.
Yeah, can I ask? Blue said there's nothing better than eating a fresh pheasant. Would anything that might be comparable to
Chicken.
a slicker like me? What a pheasant would taste like?
Chicken.
No, pheasants do not taste like chicken. Not at all. Everything.
Mine do.
Oh my God. I'll tell you, we had a hunt where we all tagged out, and I don't know the correct terminology. We defeathered them, we gutted them, we did all that, and then we fried, like, I don't want to say fried, but we cooked up 3 or 4 of them because we had like a group of 6. That was the best. Oh my God, there's nothing.
What did it taste like, Blue?
It tasted,
Did it taste like a steak?
it tasted
Is it like turkey? I mean, is it some?
The texture was, God, I hate to say, it was like a mixture between a chicken and a turkey.
What?
Because turkey, in my opinion, turkey's always dry, and chicken always has a little bit more moisture to it. This was like a blend of both, but damn, that was the best bird I've ever eaten.
Ranting Hick says he's eating dove. Bestie's bird he's eating is dove. It takes a lot to make a meal.
Dove's not
I
bad.
like pigeon in China, that was okay, but I'm just saying I never had a pheasant. So,
But if you have restaurants in your area, if you check the menu, you can buy pheasant, or you can get it.
yeah, I think I will. I think I'll look around for that. I'm curious now.
I like pheasant. Pheasant's good. Not huge on duck, but I like pheasant.
Yeah, I can't eat duck.
Duck's greasy.
Yeah, I ate a wild turkey once. That'll never happen again.
Eat it or drink it.
Maybe you should have drank some before you ate some.
Yes.
Oh God, you might as well, for the wild turkey, you might as well go out and get bark off of a tree and boil it down and like kind of eat it. That's kind of, that was.
Making it sound great.
No, don't do it.
Yeah, see, dove to me, at least in California, was very gamey. Pheasant was way better because it was like eating a chicken. It tasted like a chicken to me. I never had blue grouse, so.
I need to figure out how to get the farm raised pheasants and send one to you somehow, freeze dried or something. I'll tell you that I've never had a bird that tasted that good.
You can get them from Omaha Steaks. I think they have pheasant, and they ship them in a cooler.
I mean, whenever I say farm raised, it's not that we raise the pheasants. We purchased the pheasants. We put them out. There's like 80 of them, and we put them out at the farm, and then we waited about a month and a half or so, and then we went out hunting. Wow, that was wow. That's all I can say.
Yeah, so they just lived off their natural, whatever they normally eat, bugs and shit like chickens, I guess, berries or whatever. So their natural diet.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I'm trying to talk the father-in-law into doing is they have oh shit, it's not a chicken, a guinea. The guineas, they have guineas out at the farm, and they're free range, but they won't kill them because they cut down on ticks, mosquitoes, spiders, all that stuff. It's like everybody keeps telling me, get a guinea. A guinea is very, and I want to try one, but he won't kill his guineas.
This one
Yeah.
died of natural causes.
Yeah, guineas are good. They're good watchdogs. They're good for the tick population. They're awesome for gardens and because they won't mess with the plants. They'll just eat the bugs off the plants. I know a few years ago when I had guineas, they are some loud, pain in the ass birds, but I got used to them and I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed the noise. They were constantly making noise, but they would make a different noise if somebody drove up.
Yeah. Yeah, and they will, like, out at the farm, whenever we pull down the lane, they will line up in front of the driveway and you have to stop so you don't hit them. And I think the funniest part is I've got the police dog. Whenever we go out camping, I always take him with me. Those guineas will pin him down. They will surround him and pin him, and he knows that he's not allowed to go after wild animals. I mean, if it was a different dog, it might be different, but they will pin him down and they will just sit there and squawk and scream. And it's like, it's a great alarm system if there's a predator on your land.
Yep. Yeah, they're awesome. And you know, they'll domesticate just like any other animal. I know I had a story when I had all of them, I had like 5 of them. And they were down at my neighbor's, and I was like, well, let me go down there because I could hear them. I was like, let me go get them because I know they're aggravating the shit out of my neighbor. And I went down there, and I said, hey, to my neighbor, and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at the guineas, and I was like, hey, come on, let's go back on. And I turned around and started walking back toward my driveway, and they all fucking followed me. All the way up the driveway back to the house. And he looked at me, and he was like, I would never believe that shit if I hadn't seen it. And I was like, yeah. And sure enough, like I said, I was, come on, let's go back to the house. And they just followed me up the fucking driveway.
That's crazy. That's pretty awesome. Now, if you could just get a rooster with a mute button, then you'd be in shape.
Those birds knew that TR would shoot them if they didn't follow.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a damn fox took them all out, and I didn't think about it till they was all wiped out. I finally got a live trap and killed off most of the foxes in this area. And we have a predator law in South Carolina. I'm allowed to kill any predator that messes with my livestock. I don't have to have a license. I don't have to get a permit. If it's going after my livestock, boom, I can kill it. So I'm all legal. So I'm pretty sure there's not a fox within a half a mile of my place anymore.
What color were they?
Gray.
I haven't seen any of those around here.
Yeah, I've killed about 4 foxes, about 10 raccoons, and a few possums. Yeah, one night I killed 5 raccoons standing in the same spot. I just kept spotlighting trees and just moved tree to tree. I killed 5 fucking raccoons in one night.
Yeah, those things will eat your chickens easy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll go after them in a heartbeat.
How's that raccoon taste?
I didn't eat them. I just threw them in the woods.
Face blue.
Awesome. Sorry.
They are. You can eat them, but you know, I ain't going through that damn much trouble.
Don't ever eat a scavenger. Ugh.
Yeah.
Cartel smugglers.
So what's on the panel? We'll start. TR, I don't know how you see it, but on the panel, what is the weirdest thing you guys have ever eaten? Wild game wise.
Crocodile.
Well, I've had camel and scorpion in China when I lived there, so
Wow.
that was pretty wild. So.
Yeah, I'd probably say alligator.
Yeah, I say crocodile. It's probably alligator. I've had alligator tail before. That's probably the wildest thing I've ate.
It was chewy as shit. Tough son of a bitch.
No, what I had was it kind of tasted like chicken, but it had a fishy smell and texture to it. It really tasted almost like a little bit like, it tasted like chicken, but it kind of smelled like fish. It was weird. Kind of like eating frog legs. I've had frog legs. Same thing. It tastes like chicken, but you get like a fishy smell to it.
They tasted pretty good, as I have to tell you. They had a nice crunch to them.
Rocky Mountain elk oysters. Had lots of those.
Ugh. Wait, you ate elk balls?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
When I worked on a hunting ranch in Wyoming years back when I was a lot younger, but yeah, they were good. It was the cook. There's a cook, called him Cookie, but yeah, there was all sorts of seasoning and spices and shit on it. Those things were delicious.
I gotta ask because I've never had one. Were they salty?
I couldn't tell it had so much flavor and stuff on it. It was good.
It's lost in the moment.
I've had alligator jerky, and I've had squirrel.
See, I haven't had squirrel.
Squirrel's not bad.
Yeah, squirrel's good. It tastes like chicken. It really does.
It was little, kind of like all dark meat chicken.
Yeah, stringier too, right?
Full bodied. Well, yeah. But it was in a stew, so it was really not stringy at that point.
Yeah, like the squirrels in California, they were ground squirrels,
Mm-hmm.
and they were just rodents, basically. Fluffy-tailed rats, and you wouldn't eat those.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat the ones around here in Chicago either. Call them roof rabbits.
Roof rabbits. There you go.
Fine things. Seen some really nice ones in Syracuse, New York. They're black and they look like a mink.
Huh.
They're actually pretty. I don't think I'd eat one of those. They look too nice. If I was
If it moves, you can eat it.
yeah.
I ate squirrel. I ate a lot of squirrel, actually. Back in my teenage years, I'd go squirrel hunting and bring them home, skin them, and my grandma would cook them for me. So.
That's a nice grandma. Grandmas are good for that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was it in a soup, or was it like just pieces of meat?
Yeah, she usually just fried it, like it was just fried chicken or whatever.
Got it.
She'd boil it and then fry it. Tenderize it. Otherwise, it can be too tough. Same thing with frog leg.
Lots
We
of
went.
snake, lots of rattlesnake. I've had a lot of that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. China was very common to have it.
China's got all sorts of nasty shit.
Actually, it tasted good. When it's properly prepared, it's a very white meat. You got to be careful of the bones, but it was delicious.
I've had crickets. They're pretty tasty if you spice them up.
Yeah.
Crunchy. All right. Blue. I'm going to go ahead and end this anyway because it's been about 2 hours. Blue's got to jump out. I will let him do an outro before he jumps out.
Well, nothing really. If you guys believe in a higher power, if you guys do the white light thing, whatever, say a little prayer tonight for my little local police department that we forged through the cuts that are forthcoming. That's pretty much all I got to ask. And TR, thanks for the invite. The panel, great discussion as always. Outside chat, you guys are awesome. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one, Blue.
Later, Blue.
Take care. Good luck.
See you guys.
And I'm going to go down the line here. And like I said, because it's been a couple of hours, we kind of winded down talking about eating squirrel and crocodile and shit. So they're Rick, is your 6 covered? Would you like to do an outro?
No, thanks. You guys have a great one. Appreciate you guys in the external.
All right. Rosie, would you like to do an outro?
Just a simple one to say thanks. And Tom, it was a pleasure meeting you tonight. Best of luck to you on Election Day. Stay safe in Illinois. Vote early, vote often, right out there. So, Blue, be pulling for you. Rick, stay safe, and CR, fun chat as usual. Thank you, Side Chat. Good time tonight.
Thanks, Rosie.
All right. And Tom's next. And just for anybody that don't know this, I got my bases covered tonight because I got a cop, a fireman, and a lawyer on the panel. Tom's a lawyer, so I had all my bases covered.
There you go.
So Tom, do an outro, buddy.
Very pleasant being here. It's always fun talking with you guys. And Rosie, pleasure meeting you. I've appreciated your comments in the past. I was in the financial services business for a little while, but I never knew as much as you do. So I'm very happy to be out of that business. I think that's it. Thanks.
Well, thanks for coming on, Tom. I appreciate you jumping in here. It was good to see you on Blues Chat the other day. It was just great to see you this past weekend.
That was a lot.
That was a surprise. Even Rob was like, I don't know if he was fucking with me or not. I don't know. Is he really driving down here?
Oh, I wouldn't. Well, I kind of have a reputation for being a smartass, so I understand why you would have thought that.
No, we just thought because you were so far away. It was like, really? Is he driving down? No, that'd be awesome if he does. And you did. You showed up. So that was great. It was awesome to meet you and get to shake your hand or meet another YouTuber and have a good time shooting. And it's awesome.
It was fun.
So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this. We got a great audience out there. I still got a bunch of people watching, but I try to keep these at 2 hours. And we're at the 2 hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. And we'll see you Sunday night. If not sooner on somebody else's chat. Later.
Have a good one.